2026, and we're cleaning as we go. We're cleaning as we go. Okay, let's get started with everything that you need. You're going to need a love box. It can say love, it can say I heart you, but you will need one of these. Now, I have seen them at Hobby Lobby, I've seen them at Michael's. I got this one specifically from Five Below. They're sold out online, but they do still have them in stock in some stores. You'll also need some spray roses. I got these from Trader Joe's. They are only, I believe, $5.99 a bunch. For this, I probably only need one bunch, but I'm going with two just in case. You will need some wet floral foam. There is a difference. They have dry floral foam for the artificial flowers. We're using real flowers, so you will need the wet floral foam. If you decide to use dry flowers, you can use the regular floral foam. I got these from Michael's, but you can get them from any craft store. And then the last thing that you're going to need is some cellophane. I also got this from Michael's. You can get this from any craft store. I also feel like plastic wrap could work. But basically, this is to separate, since this is more of a paper material, it's to separate and create a lining in between your wet floral foam and your paper material. And then, of course, you'll need something to cut your flowers. And then you're going to need something to dip your floral foam in to wet it. And I think that's it. Oh, you'll need scissors to just make things look a little more neat. And that's it. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm kind of like, I don't know. Like, I kind of wonder if these pink flowers are too pink. Do have these and I have these. So I low-key feel like I would use these if I had two bunches. I don't think that's enough. And then I have these. So I'm trying to decide what is gonna look the best. I kind of feel like the pink might blend in a little too much. Let's see. See, when you have a vision, sometimes you have to test things out. I just had the best idea. What if we did like an ombre? Like, what if I do the light to dark and do these? Would that not look so pretty? I think I'm gonna do that. So I think I'm gonna do this is gonna be so extra. That's gonna be so pretty though. I'm gonna do a third of the light. I'm gonna do a third of the like pinkish, and then I'm gonna do a third of the purple. And we're gonna see what that looks like. I think that's gonna look so cute. So let's get started. The first thing that we're gonna do is measure our floral foam. And we're gonna measure before we wet because it makes it much easier. So this is really little. So I just kind of like eye it. I probably won't get too specific. So I probably will just cut like an end off for there. And then, yeah, okay. I have a plan. Okay, let's go ahead and cut this floral foam. I kind of measured it, so we're good there. So we're going to go ahead and cut. After we cut the foam, we are going to go ahead and cut the cellophane and trim the cellophane. I think, honestly, I'm going to use a bread knife because that might work a little easier for me. For me. Okay. All right. So I'm not going to get it perfect, but we're going to as close as possible. Oh, that wasn't bad. We're going to cut that like that. And then, actually, I'm going to just go ahead and push down. I'm going to go ahead and push down and just give it a little indent. That way. So now I can, oh, almost. Now I can just cut around it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're gonna put the heart in just to make sure it fits correctly, and it's a little tight. Here, let me lift it up so you can see. It is a little tight, and it's really the part that's tight is really the top part. So I'm gonna just trim it down just a little bit. And again, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect because it is going to expand with the water. It looks like I might need another, but I'm going to go ahead and do that for the rest of them. I'm going to have to cut it down. So the nice thing with this, we'll go ahead and cut it in half. And maybe we could have cut it in half in the first place, but we didn't. But I'm going to cut it down the center. That way we only need to use one block. And then that fits in there. And it's not perfect, and it doesn't have to be because nobody's going to see it. So we're going to go ahead and cut the rest of them and come back, and then we will continue. Okay, this is how we're looking now that I have everything fit in there. So obviously everything is not perfect, and it doesn't have to be because nobody's going to see this part. This is your like base basically. So I'm going to pull everything out, and then we're going to get the cellophane in there to make sure everything fits correctly. So let's take that. We'll take that. This is a little janky, but it'll be fine. And then we're going to remove this piece. Let's move these back. Okay. Great. Now we're empty. And this is looking a little dusty for me, so I'm just gonna bang you out. Okay. It's a little better, whatever. Nobody's gonna see that. So now let's take our cellophane. Y'all, I had to go buy a new roll. I had to go buy a new roll, like specifically right when I was about to record, and that was not, I was like, shoot, I gotta run to Michael's. Okay, so now, because this is smaller, it is going to be a little annoying, but that's okay. That is okay. We're going to take our time. I can already see I'm about to get annoyed, but that's okay. We're going to take our time. So I am going to, I want to be have this as useful as possible and not be wasteful. So I think what I'm going to do is pull it down that way and start with one piece. Okay, there is that. Now we are going to take our time, take your time, and we're going to trim. I'm going to start with going to start with the easiest piece because that's the eye. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to place this as we wet our floral foam. I think that's going to be the easiest. So I'm going to go ahead. I did put some water in this bowl. So I am going to go ahead and do it that way. Okay. So let me talk you through really quick what I did because this is how we're looking. This is how we're looking. So we got our base. We're good to go. So what you're going to want to do, and you'll see this right here, you're going to want to cut out your cellophane, and then you're going to want to measure it to your letter or your object. You want to go ahead and take your floral foam, you're going to put it in the water. That way we know how much it has expanded, etc., etc. If you need to trim it after it's expanded, please go ahead and do that. But it should fit decently into your shape. So you're going to push that in there with the cellophane. And then from there, a cellophane is going to start to stick up, and then you just want to trim it. So I did a really rough trim because I didn't want to cut it too low, because once you cut too low, it's nothing you can do. You have to go back and cut another piece and blah, 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 whatever. So I would say be aware of that. And then you're going to cut it, and then you go to your next object and your next object. The U was a little bit more difficult. I did just take my time. I did cut a slit down the middle since the U has a slit down the middle, and that made it a little easier to shape, but just take your time. It's fairly easy. Okay. So now that we have that, I am going to go ahead and trim these down. That's the U. So I'm going to go ahead and do the others and come back. 2026, and we're cleaning as we go. We're cleaning as we go because this green stuff gets everywhere. So I want to get this stuff off of my table and then at least out of our area so this can look as nice as possible. This is how we're looking. It's got a little green dust on there, but that's going to be gone very, very shortly after I finish getting this stuff off the table. Okay. That was fairly simple, right? So far, so good. I would say that's the most tedious part. If you're watching this and not doing it with me, don't cut over your box. That'll help prevent the cleanup, but it is what it is. So let's move on. This is how our box is looking. I did go ahead and clean that up, and then we're gonna start doing our flowers. So my goal is to do an ombre. I hope it looks like what I imagine, and I hope it doesn't look janky, because if it looks janky, I'm gonna change it. So now you'll need your pruners and your flowers, and I'm gonna go ahead and start to cut my buds off of my flowers. And you can cut them fairly short. The stems aren't going to go that far in there, but I rather cut it long and then have to shorten it than it be too short. You know what I'm saying? Especially if your floral foam is uneven. Like my U is a little, like one side is shorter than the other. So the one side I'm going to have to cut longer than the other side. You know what I mean? Like it'll have to be a little shorter. But anyway, Now it's the cutting part, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, I started cutting some floral, but what I'm gonna do is cut a little more and I'm gonna separate them. I really hope, so you could probably cut them an inch or shorter. I really hope my vision works because I think the ombre would look so cute. Now I gotta figure out who to give these like test ones to. Okay, so we have, this is like, what color is this? Is it like a dark pink? Dark pink? This is definitely like a purple, and this is gonna be at the bottom. The crazy thing is, I've had these for some days now because I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this on whatever day. No, sure didn't. Might need some buds, and then we're gonna cut the pink. But I finally got around to it, and I'm so excited to share this cute idea with y'all. A little bit more pink. I think that's it. I don't think we need that much. Okay, I am gonna be extra and separate them. We have everything separated. So we have our light pink, we have our dark pink, and then we have our purple. So now let's get to it. This is the fun part. We get to actually decorate how we want it to look. So I think this will be cute. It also could be cute if I did like an outer edge, but I don't think these are big enough. But if you have a bigger one, you could do like outer edge one color, second from outer one color, and then the middle one color. You know what I'm saying? But we don't have enough for that, so we're gonna do ombre. Okay, so let's get started. So what I'm doing is kind of playing around with not only the colors but the sizes of the roses, because I want the shape to stay the same, and because my roses are different sizes that I showed you, I kind of have to play around with the different sizes in order to make the shape consistent. So here's what we look like so far. And I'm gonna keep going and I'll zoom in so you guys can see what I'm doing. So right here, you can see those are a little bigger. So I kind of offset that with a smaller one. And then, oh, that looks so good. And then I'm gonna find another smaller one. I might have to cut it. That's not too small. Oh, perfect. But I feel like I have buds here, right? So what if I move this here? No, we still need like a bud or something here. And then a bud or something small here. I don't know. Are you able to see what I'm doing? Let me try and zoom in. Okay, now you can see better. So I'm gonna do maybe like another bud here. There. Now we're gonna move on to the purple. And the purple is so big and pretty. We really have to look how big that one is. Like, that is so big and pretty. And this is kind of curved too. Hang on. Let's get a straighter one. Perfect. That looks so good. And then we're gonna do another one and then a couple buds. But I wanna, should we do the buds there? I don't know. I feel like this is kind of budded out. I need something else right here. So that's how that is looking. Here's our eye. that's what, that's what the eye looks like. I am gonna go ahead and keep working, and I'm gonna show you what the heart looks like when I'm done. So I will be back in a minute. So here's how we look. Now I will say we did come into a slight little hiccup. This does not close all the way now that we have our flowers added, which to me is not much of a problem. I would just tie the bow very neatly this way, and I think it still looks good, but I didn't think about it. But anyway, this is how we're looking. I think it looks so cute. I will show you what it looks like tied and presented. I hope this made Valentine's Day feel a little bit easier. If it did, subscribe and stick around. I got more ideas coming. And until then, I will see you later. It came out so cute though.